It was late in the evening. I had just finished a phone call with a friend and went to turn off the hallway lights. Suddenly, my phone rang again. The screen said unknown number. I ignored it, thinking it was spam. But then it rang again, and again, and again. On the fourth time, I picked up. A whisper came through. "Can you see me?" I froze. It was a child's voice, but distorted, unnatural. "Who is this?" I asked. No answer, just quiet breathing. I hung up and tried to shake it off. Then, the lights in my house suddenly went out. I turned toward the window and saw a silhouette watching me. I ran to the door. No one. I stepped outside. The street was empty. Back inside, my phone lit up again. Same number. This time I didn't answer, but the voice came anyway. From right behind me. "Can you see me now?" And everything went dark. It happened during a night train ride. I had a compartment all to myself. Quiet, the soft clatter of wheels, dim lighting. Just the way I like it. Around 3 a.m., the train suddenly slowed down and stopped. Not abruptly, just gently came to a halt. Outside the window, forest. No lights, no platform, no signs. Just darkness. At first, I figured it was a technical stop. But 10 minutes passed. Then 15. Then 20. No announcements. No footsteps in the corridor. No voices. It was like the train had stopped. And everything else froze with it. I stepped into the corridor. Empty. All the other compartment doors were closed, and it felt like I was the only one left on board. I knocked on the conductor's door. Silence. No lights inside either. I tried the exit. The door opened easily, as if it had never been locked. What was strange was there were no steps down. The ground was level with the train. I stepped off, and then I saw it, an old rusted sign, barely legible. Station 23. I had never heard of it before. It's not on any schedule, not in any navigation app. I walked along the train. Not a single soul. No lights in the windows. The entire train seemed empty, like it was just parked there, waiting. I climbed back into my compartment, sat down. Suddenly, the train jerked forward. The corridor lights flickered on. Music started playing from the speakers. Everything was back to normal. I let out a breath of relief, looked out the window, and saw that someone else was now standing where I had just been, watching me, watching the train as it pulled away. The next day I tried looking up Station 23 online. Nothing, no photos, no mentions. I contacted the railway company. They said the train never made any unscheduled stops. But I remember stepping off. I remember walking on solid ground. I remember the sign. So the only question is, if it wasn't a stop, where did I go? It was almost midnight when Jake pulled into the gas station. Middle of nowhere, desert highway, just him, the buzzing of the lights, and the endless dark behind the pumps. He was on his way home from a road trip. Tired, hungry, and just a little wired from the energy drinks. As he filled up, he noticed a girl across the lot, standing near the edge of the station, just beyond the light, pale, wearing a white dress, barefoot. He blinked. She went closer. She stepped into the light, face half covered by long black hair, and she asked in a soft, almost trembling voice, "Do you think I'm pretty?" Jake gave a nervous chuckle. Yeah, sure." She tilted her head. "Even like this?" And then she moved her hair aside. Her mouth had been cut from ear to ear like a grotesque, jagged smile. Skin scarred, stitched. the corners of her lips still wet. Jake froze. She stepped closer. He dropped the nozzle, gas spilling everywhere, and jumped in his car. Locked the doors. Engine wouldn't start. He looked up. She was gone. Jake turned the key again. The car roared to life. He peeled out of the station, tires screeching, not daring to look in the rearview mirror. 20 minutes later, he reached a diner, hands still shaking. The waitress asked if he was okay. He told her. The girl, the question, the face. She grew pale. Then she said slowly, "You saw her too?" Jake's blood turned to ice. She reached under the counter, pulled out a faded newspaper clipping. A local urban legend. A girl who had been mutilated by a jealous ex. She died on that highway. Now she appears to men, asking if they think she's pretty. If they lie, she kills them. If they tell the truth, she still kills them. There's no right answer. And that's when Jake noticed the security mirror above the counter. Behind him, she was standing there, smiling. My house sits farther back in the lot than most other houses. It is a strange layout as well. The sidewalk runs the length of the living room and ends at the front porch, which lets into the living room. Large windows that do not open allow great light to flood the space, but at the cost of no privacy. The rest of my family was on vacation, and having the house to myself, I decided I would get smashed. Well, I passed out on the couch in the living room. At about 9, I realized I was too scared to walk back to my room. The couch is right underneath those big windows. I woke up suddenly, not knowing why. I had a severe case of the chills, and I couldn't figure out why. Then, the banging started. It came from right above me. I didn't move. But I opened my eyes and looked up at the window. Someone was standing there, pounding on the glass. Without moving, I looked at the cable box. It was around 3 in the morning. The banging continued, then it stopped suddenly. But I still didn't move. And then it started again from 2 different directions now. Someone was banging on the window, and another person was banging on the front door. They kept doing it. They wouldn't go away. Finally, after about 40 minutes, they quit. It was the most terrifying event I can recall at the moment. It made me a nervous wreck after that. The next day, I called a friend to see if he would come over and stay for the rest of the week. His response? What the fighting for? So that we can both be murdered in our sleep. Thanks a lot, asshole. Woke up. Clock says 3:34 a.m. I'm 17. I'm in my bedroom. It's pitch black. But I hear some rattling downstairs. Terrified, I very quietly, tiptoed to my parents' room. Weird. It's empty. Where are my parents? At 3:34 in the morning? I go upstairs to my brother's room. He's usually awake all night. But while the light is on, no one is there. So I guess, whatever those noises are downstairs, it must be them. Why are they awake? Did something happen? Did someone die? I go downstairs. In the middle of the living room, I see 2 men. They're trying to steal our TV. No one else is in sight. I run upstairs as quietly as I can. Shut my bedroom door. Lock it. Suddenly, banging on the door. I wake up. It was a dream. Relief washes over me. I look at the clock. Weird coincidence. 3:34 a.m. I'm shaking, but I decide I need to go downstairs, just to prove to myself that everything's fine. So I go downstairs, and there they are. The same 2 men, in my kitchen, screaming at my parents, at my brother. I run upstairs, back to my room. I lock the door. 10 seconds later, banging, I wake up again. 3:34 a.m. This time, I'm really awake, and I don't manage to fall asleep again for the next 36 hours.